Can I figure out what's really going on with Brad Pitt and his kids right now? For years, Brad Pitt has been one of the most recognizable stars in Hollywood. From his award-winning performances on the big screen to his high-profile relationships, his life has remained under constant public scrutiny. While fans have followed his career for decades, one aspect of his life continues to generate enormous interest and speculation: his relationship with his children. Ever since Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie ended their marriage, headlines surrounding their family have rarely disappeared. What started as a divorce quickly evolved into one of Hollywood's most talked-about custody disputes. Over the years, countless reports, rumors, and insider claims have surfaced, creating a complicated picture that has left fans wondering what is really happening behind the scenes. The story involves 6 children who grew up under an extraordinary spotlight. As they have gotten older, many have begun carving out their own identities and making independent decisions about their lives. Their choices have often sparked public discussion and fueled speculation about their relationships with both parents. At the center of the conversation is Brad Pitt's ongoing effort to maintain and rebuild connections with his children. Sources have repeatedly suggested that the actor has been working hard to strengthen family bonds, despite years of legal disputes and personal challenges. While some reports indicate progress, others suggest that certain relationships remain strained. The situation has been closely watched because it involves much more than a typical celebrity breakup. The family has experienced years of court proceedings, public allegations, media scrutiny, and emotional challenges. Every new development seems to generate another wave of headlines, leaving many people trying to separate fact from speculation. The legal battle between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie became one of the defining celebrity stories of the past decade. Following their separation, disagreements over custody and parenting arrangements became public knowledge. Court documents, legal filings, and statements from representatives often became major news stories on their own. Throughout the process, both sides have maintained their positions regarding what they believe is best for the children. The legal proceedings have been lengthy and complex, involving numerous hearings, negotiations, and reports. While certain aspects of the case have been resolved over time, public interest has remained intense. One factor that makes the situation unique is the fact that the children are no longer very young. As they have matured, their opinions and preferences have naturally become more significant. Older children often gain greater independence and may have stronger voices regarding family arrangements and personal relationships. This reality has led many observers to wonder how the children's perspectives have evolved over the years. Growing up in the public eye is challenging under any circumstances, but doing so during a highly publicized family dispute presents additional difficulties. The children have largely maintained privacy, despite constant media attention. At various points, reports have suggested that some of the children have become more distant from Brad Pitt. Other reports have indicated efforts toward reconciliation and healing. Because much of the family's private life remains confidential, it is often difficult to determine exactly what is happening behind closed doors. Public discussion intensified whenever one of the children made a rare public appearance or took an action that generated headlines. Fans closely analyzed photographs, interviews, and social media discussions for clues about family dynamics. Even small developments sometimes sparked widespread speculation. Many observers have pointed out that family relationships are rarely simple, especially following a difficult separation. Emotional wounds can take years to heal, and rebuilding trust often requires patience and understanding. This may be particularly true when families are navigating challenges under the intense spotlight of global media attention. Brad Pitt has occasionally spoken about personal growth and self-reflection in interviews over the years. He has discussed lessons learned from difficult periods in his life and the importance of family relationships. While he has generally avoided discussing specific details about his children, his comments have often been interpreted as indications of his desire to move forward positively. Meanwhile, Angelina Jolie has also emphasized her commitment to her children and their well-being. She has frequently discussed the importance of protecting their privacy and helping them navigate life in the public eye. Her role as a mother has remained a central part of her public identity. As the years have passed, each child has begun developing unique interests and goals. Some have pursued educational opportunities, while others have explored creative passions and personal projects. Their increasing independence has naturally shifted the family dynamic. One topic that generated significant public discussion involved reports regarding the children's surnames and how they identify themselves publicly. These developments prompted widespread speculation about family relationships and emotional connections. However, observers have noted that personal decisions made by young adults can be influenced by many factors and may not always tell the full story. Another source of public fascination has been the reported evolution of Brad Pitt's relationship with individual children. Certain reports have suggested that communication has improved in some cases. Others have described ongoing challenges that require time and effort to address. Family experts often point out that relationships can change significantly over time. Estrangement does not always last forever, and reconciliation is often possible when individuals remain committed to understanding one another. This perspective has encouraged some fans who hope for positive outcomes for everyone involved. Recent reports have suggested that Brad Pitt continues to prioritize family connections despite the difficulties of the past several years. Sources have claimed that he remains hopeful about strengthening relationships and creating opportunities for meaningful interactions with his children. One name that frequently appears in discussions is Shiloh. As one of the most recognizable members of the family, she has attracted substantial media attention throughout her life. Reports regarding her relationship with Brad Pitt have generated countless headlines, with some suggesting periods of distance and others describing signs of improvement. According to various reports, efforts have been made to spend more time together and focus on rebuilding trust. While specific details remain private, these reports have fueled optimism among those who hope the family can move toward greater understanding. At the same time, public fascination with the family has sometimes created unrealistic expectations. Many people expect dramatic turning points or definitive answers, but real-life family relationships are often much more complicated. Progress may occur gradually rather than through a single transformative moment. Observers have also noted that media coverage can sometimes oversimplify complex situations. Headlines often focus on conflict because conflict attracts attention. However, the reality of family dynamics usually involves a mixture of challenges, emotions, misunderstandings, and attempts at reconciliation. This complexity helps explain why reports about Brad Pitt and his children often appear contradictory. One source may describe growing distance, while another may emphasize improving communication. Both perspectives could potentially reflect different aspects of an evolving family situation. Another important consideration is the children's desire for privacy. As they grow older, many appear increasingly interested in living their own lives rather than participating in public discussions about family matters. This desire is understandable given the extraordinary level of attention they have experienced since childhood. Public statements from family members remain relatively rare, which means that speculation often fills the information gap. Whenever a family member does speak publicly, the comments tend to receive enormous attention and analysis. One particularly noteworthy moment occurred when a child reportedly expressed personal feelings that were interpreted as revealing deeper emotions about family relationships. The statement generated widespread discussion because it offered a rare glimpse into perspectives that are usually kept private. For many fans, such moments serve as reminders that the people involved are navigating real emotions, rather than simply participating in a celebrity news story. Behind every headline are family members working through personal experiences that can be difficult and emotionally complex. The passage of time may ultimately play an important role in shaping future relationships. As children become adults, family dynamics often change naturally. New perspectives emerge, old conflicts sometimes lose intensity, and opportunities for healing can develop. Some observers believe that the next chapter of the story may involve less focus on legal disputes and more emphasis on personal growth. With many of the children reaching adulthood, traditional custody issues become less central than individual relationships and mutual understanding. Brad Pitt's supporters often point to reports suggesting that he remains committed to rebuilding connections whenever possible. They argue that family relationships can recover even after years of tension. Others remain cautious, noting that meaningful reconciliation requires effort from all parties involved. Regardless of differing opinions, most observers agree on one thing: the well-being of the children remains the most important consideration. Throughout years of public attention, many people have expressed hope that the family can find peace and stability. As new developments continue to emerge, public interest is unlikely to disappear. Brad Pitt remains one of Hollywood's biggest stars, and his family story continues to captivate audiences around the world. Every update generates fresh discussion about what may happen next. Will relationships continue to improve over time? Will old wounds eventually heal? Could family members find common ground despite years of challenges? These questions remain at the center of ongoing public fascination. What seems clear is that the situation is far more nuanced than many headlines suggest. Family relationships are rarely defined by a single event or moment. They evolve over time, influenced by communication, personal growth, changing circumstances, and the willingness of individuals to move forward. For now, reports indicate a mixed but evolving picture. Some relationships may be improving, while others continue to face obstacles. Progress appears possible, but the process remains ongoing. Ultimately, only the people directly involved know the complete truth about what is happening behind closed doors. Public reports can provide glimpses into the situation, but they rarely capture the full complexity of family life. As fans continue following the story, many remain hopeful that healing and understanding will eventually prevail. Whether through renewed communication, shared experiences, or simply the passage of time, there is always the possibility that relationships can grow stronger. Until then, the story of Brad Pitt and his children remains one of Hollywood's most closely watched family narratives. It is a story filled with challenges, emotions, setbacks, and potential opportunities for reconciliation. And while questions remain unanswered, one thing appears certain: the journey is still unfolding, and the next chapter has yet to be written. As more developments emerge, the world will undoubtedly continue watching. For now, that's where things stand in the ongoing story of Brad Pitt and his children. Thanks for the watching and subscribe.